But sure enough, who makes another appearance? I'm the motherfucking T-Rex!
No!
Yeah! Yeah! Oh, shit!
Oh, bravo! Bravo! Encore!
Oh. No. That didn't just happen. That was the motherfucking T-Rex! Nobody outdoes the motherfucking T-Rex!
Except it wasn't. It was 1 out of 7 and later 6 Tyrannosaurus in the franchise. And no, he was not Junior from the Lost World. He's a complete stranger.
Who's this bitch that thinks she's the motherfucking T-Rex? She's not the motherfucking T-Rex!
No! What gave you that idea?
In the poster for Transformers 4, the splooging of the dong! That's not a dinosaur that looks like Daffy Duck's beak after it got shot, it's the motherfucking T-Rex!
There is so much wrong with that statement, I don't know where to start with! Okay, that description of the Spinosaurus. If I was a crocodilian, I'd call him racist. Ouch! Second, why is he using Daffy Duck as an insult? Isn't he supposed to be Dumbass's inspiration, who he based his personality off? Doesn't that mean he's insulting himself?
My number one influence is, it's gonna sound weird, but it's actually Daffy Duck, which is probably my number one influence for anything. He's like my favorite comedian, even though he's not real, but that's pretty much where I get a lot of my material from, and I think there's a lot of him in Nostalgia Critic.
You're despicable.
Third, would you please knock it off with the masturbation jokes? They're not funny, they're disgusting! They're so disgusting, the angry video game nerd doesn't go there, and his show featured puke and diarrhea, so you know even he has lines he doesn't cross.
Semen. No. I'm not going there. You're free to enjoy semen. Oh, no! It's seaman! Seaman! Not semen. As in jizz! Splooge! Man bazooka juice!
Actually, scratch that. Even James can make a masturbation joke funny. Or you know what? Here's a better comparison. The cinema snob doesn't make them as casual as you do, and he's the guy known for reviewing porn. Fourth, and this is my biggest gripe about this, his constant trashing of the Transformers movies.
Hey, look. She's got the Michael Bay Transformers movies.
You like the Michael Bay Transformer movies? With that said, I'd much rather take this shit over this shit any day. I'd much rather see Luke Skywalker destroy the Death Star than Michael Bay jerking off to his boy toys. We're gonna go through a love and hate relationship of anything that gets popular. But it's good to know that for every terrible piece of crap that becomes a phenomenon, there's something intelligent and inspiring that's waiting to become just as popular.
Look, I'm a fan of the Transformers movies. My most favorite is Dark of the Moon on the 6th of June in a Kenworth pulling logs.
Cab over Pete with a reefer on and a Jimmy hauling hogs.
I know the series has problems, but then again, what movie doesn't have problems? No, what I hate about it is the stupid view everybody makes and their way of thinking that makes this series the absolute worst thing in humanity, as if there are no worse movies ever made and Michael Bay is the enemy of humanity. Did people forget that Uwe Boll and Ronald Emmerich exist or something? Why the Transformers movies are the only one to get ridiculed for being brainless action fists when you have other stupid movies like the Fast and Furious series that went off the wall insane with venomous masculine men and sexist treatment of women and vehicles doing implausible stunts that Initial D would laugh at them for how ridiculous they are? Why is every mechanical being, whether it was a robot or an armor, automatically makes them Bayformers when robots existed way before the Transformers? Why is every explosion in a movie automatically makes them Michael Bay movies when A, he didn't invent them, and B, they were used in action movies all the time? Oh, you say the Transformers ruined cinema because everybody is trying to copy them? Gee, I guess by that logic, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is ought to be blamed for ruining cinema because we're getting countless failed attempts at starting other cinematic universes. Or we should blame the nostalgia critic because he influenced many copycats and ruined Critic forever. Wait. But worse than that is the notion that if you like these movies, that automatically makes you a stupid person and a disgrace to humanity, which is complete bullcrap if you ask me. Now, I openly admit I like the Transformers movies. I like The Lost World. I even like Jurassic Park 3. Yes, we'll talk about it by the end. I even like Fallen Kingdom despite the negative reception it received. Does that mean I have a horrible taste in movies or I'm a dumb, horny 12-year-old? If you think that way, then let me tell you what's one of my most favorite movies of all time. 12 Angry Men. This is a black and white movie from 1957. It doesn't have heavy action scenes. It doesn't have romance. It's not a comedy. It's not even that timeless. It's just a group of men sitting in a single room and all they do is talk to each other. Yet, it is one of my most favorite movies ever. I was introduced to this movie in my college years during business ethics class, and let me tell you, it changed my way of thinking. Might not be the same way Camelot did to Linkara, but it did make a lasting impression on me.
Let's take two pieces of testimony and try to put them together. First, the old man in the apartment downstairs. He says he heard the boy say, "I'm gonna kill you," and a split second later heard a body hit the floor. 1 second later, right?
That's right.
Second. The woman across the street swore positively she looked out of the window and saw the killing through the last two cars of a passing elevated train, right? The last two cars.
Well, what are you giving us here?
Just a minute.
If you're wondering why I'm so adamant when it comes to researching and presenting your facts straight, or why my videos are super long filled with pointless knowledge you don't really need, blame it on this movie.
Well, what about all the other evidence? What about all that stuff? The knife, the whole business?
Well, you said we could throw out all the other evidence.
This is the movie that taught me the importance of research and devoting your time and effort to present your information without letting your personal feels get in the way.
Ever since you walked into this room, you've been acting like a self-appointed public avenger. You want to see this boy die because you personally want it, not because of the facts. You're a sadist.
Kill him out! Kill him!
You don't really mean you'll kill me, do you?
This movie was a battle, but not a battle of hands or guns. It was a battle of thoughts, and it was won not by he who yells the loudest, but he who convinces others by talking them to. Make them doubt their assumption and back it off using the little details you pick up here and there and present your case.
I'm convinced. Not guilty.
I know many of my viewers are keeping asking me to do other responses to other dumbass critic reviews, even after I made my update video where I stated I'm not doing more of this. And while I appreciate these requests, and even if certain events didn't occur, I want to be able to present the same quality you see here because I'm not as hardcore of a fan to other franchises as I am to Jurassic Park. For example, if I would respond to the Sailor Moon review, I'll need to watch the entirety of the old anime series, which I guess includes the old and new dubs. Yes, I read the manga and watched all of Crystal, but I'm still not the most qualified person to do this. If I'd respond to the It review, I'll need to read the book, watch the 90s and 2017 version, maybe even wait till chapter 2 to give a complete judgment, and study more about Stephen King's mythos to understand his line of thought and what themes he usually uses. I'm a fan of the Resident Evil franchise, and if I'd review the movies, I can judge them from both the movie viewer and gamer perspective. But if I'd make a comparison to Silent Hill, I wouldn't be able to do the same because I'm not that familiar with the Silent Hill games beyond the first one, and the only way to judge the movies is from the movie's viewer's perspective and not the gamer. The point is, I don't want to make reviews or response videos to whatever people are asking me to do if I'm not familiar to the subject at hand, and the last thing I want to do is giving them a half-baked product of something I couldn't really get into. Looking back to my original Deadpool response video, it's very underwhelming in both content and production quality. Why? Because I'm not that familiar to the character and his comic history, and I couldn't give a more in-depth presentation as my Jurassic Park series. The point is, If I'm unable to fully get what I'm asked to review, then I can't make the review in its best quality. And then we have this clown who thinks he can win his argument by making funny noises and not bothering to understand what he doesn't understand. Note to self, old versus new 12 Angry Men. And by the way, I do have movies I really hate, like The Siege and all these hateful politically charged movies. Going back to Transformers a bit, I need to say this. If you are one of those who claim to be the most hardcore Transformers fan and still say these movies are the worst thing to come out of the Transformers, I won't take your word seriously. For one thing, if you claim to be such a fan, then it means that you know what Kiss Players is. And if you do know what Kiss Players is, and still think the movies are worse, then not only do you imply that you prefer Kiss Players over the movies, but also imply that you actually like Kiss Players, and that's just wrong!
Oh, hell no!
And by the way, this just occurred to me. If the dumbass critic went to see Age of Extinction, and then made a video talking about Michael Bay stealing dicks from those who watched it, does that mean Michael Bay stole Critic's dick? Is Critic now a dickless pussy?
Stop being such a pussy! Now!
It's like killing off Batman and replacing him with super duper better man. No, there's just some things you do not around with.
Oh, you mean like that time when Bane broke Batman's back in Nightfall and got replaced with Azrael? Or when Dick Grayson became Batman for a while? Because it happened. There's a thing called legacy character, and it's been around for quite a while. Some characters get killed or retired and replaced by other characters who carry their legacy. Sometimes it works, other times doesn't, and the original character is brought back. It's nothing new. There are times when change of formula is necessary to increase the longevity. It gives chances for creativity and adding new things and not get repetitive to the point it gets stale.
I guess another reason it works for me is because I believe that while truly great characters don't change over time, environments do. And if Looney Tunes still wants to speak to both an adult and a kid audience, the characters can stay the same, but it has to evolve with the rest of the world. Changes have to be made. And I think many of us know how most people react to change nowadays.
I don't want change! I don't want change! Everything has to stay the same! I don't want to grow up!
Take the Marvel Cinematic Universe for example. While all their movies are comic book movies, each movie is different enough from each other, and they explore multitude of genres and styles, and that's why they never get boring or repetitive, even when they make several origin movies. Do you know why DC fans are getting sick of Batman these days? Because DC and WB respectively are constantly kissing his ass by making countless comics and adaptations based on him. And if it wasn't about him, then it's about a character from his universe. How the hell do you decide on 3 Harley Quinn movies and 2 Joker movies before the Martian Manhunter or even a Man of Steel sequel?
Because I'm an idiot. Happy?
Batman is constantly getting the exposure over every other DC character to the point the major DC characters are slowly becoming D-listers because the great and powerful goddamn Batman is always on the spotlight while everybody else is his cheerleader. Same thing with X-Men and Wolverine. Wolverine is known to be everywhere and is used as a publicity stunt to the point of naming a trope after him, and the fans got sick of him as well. And apparently the MCU is getting guilty of it because people are noticing that Iron Man is getting too much exposure compared to other MCU heroes. Some things needs to be changed, and some characters needs to take a break from overexposure. Transformers Rescue Bot is looked down by Transformers fans because it's a kids show, but frankly, it's one of the most refreshing takes of the franchise and one of the most unique entries because it doesn't follow the usual formula, and it allows for other characters to shine who are not Optimus, Megatron, Bumblebee, or Starscream. Also because it's well written and a fun show with fun characters. I know change can be hard to take. I've been there with many of my favorite franchises, but by the end, we come to accept it if it was really good. Aliens is a different movie from Alien, it used a different direction and different style, and yet it's still seen as one of the best movies and one of the best sequels. On the other hand, many people have criticized Star Wars The Force Awakens for being too similar to older movies and wasn't creative enough. Then came The Last Jedi and it tried to be different, but it was hated not for the changes it made, but because it was badly written. Now, killing off the T-Rex was indeed a risk. Perhaps one of the riskiest things the movie ever did, and Joe Johnston knew it would be such, but he still took it to give us something unique for this installment.
Everyone loves the T-Rex. So we knew we were sort of treading on sacred ground here. We're gonna kill the T-Rex, and we thought, okay, let's just do it right up front. Let's say, okay, this is the new kid on the block. The Spinosaurus is bigger and tougher.
For someone who keeps demanding for change with the Transformers movies to the point of making a video about how it's always the same, I found it hypocritical from you when you refuse change with something you like. Also ironic when it comes from someone who killed his own show because it wasn't creative enough.
Have you ever considered the possibility that maybe people don't know what's best for them? And by continually giving them the same crap, they'll never know what's different, so they'll just keep asking for the same crap? No, there's just some things you do not around with. You're just trying to manipulate the primal stupidity that never wants to evolve in all of us. That's not love, that's just enjoying the same stuff. No, there's just some things you do not around with.
Aren't those the same things?
It's just like this movie. It doesn't teach you, it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't care if you're a better person by the end. All it cares about is that you give it attention. For all their talk of girl power and being independent, all they're doing is throwing the same lazy cliches at you so you'll never crave anything different. No, there's just some things you do not around with. They want to keep you in that primal box so you'll never evolve and always want the same thing over and over. No, there's just some things you do not around with. That way they can keep selling you the same thing over and over and don't have to try as hard. No, there's just some things you do not around with. Well, love for art doesn't work that way. Both the viewer and the artist need to be invested if both are expected to grow. No, there's just some things you do not around with. And I know what people say, oh, it's a girly thing, you wouldn't understand. What, it's girly not to think? It's girly to accept whatever pandering bullshit is thrown at you? I mean, don't get me wrong, I get distracted by stupid shit too. But when a movie comes along claiming it has your best interest in mind when clearly it doesn't, that's not love, that's just desperate. No, there's just some things you do not around with.
I don't want change! I don't want change! Everything has to stay the same!
You're as stupid as you always were.
Yikes. If you're getting called stupid by this face, you'd better rethink your life.
It's like taking a kid's favorite toy and being like, hey there, kiddo. You like your Dora the Explorer doll?
Sure do!
Well, what would you think if I got you a brand new Barbie doll?
Oh, that's okay. I love Dora.
No, you love Barbie.
I'm pretty sure I love Dora.
Oh, look at that, Barbie killed Dora. Now you have to love Barbie.
Poor Dora!
You will care nothing for her. You instead love your Barbie doll.
I don't want to!
You will love her!
No, Daddy, no!
This isn't funny!
Wow. I was in a dark place when I wrote that.
Oh please, don't try to pretend you never went with child abuse jokes in your life.
Well, you wanna know what I'm into? Child abuse. Lots of it. You wanna see a sample of that, you little shit? Oh, am I needed by the Take Care of Me twins? Now, in any other reality, I think we all know exactly how this would go down.
I want to be a cop or you don't get any of the information you need!
Okay, son, why don't you come with me? Give me the name! Give me the name! Give me the name, you little punk! I'll beat the living shit out of you! Give me a name! Give me a name!
Shire! Baggins!
Let us search out for Shire Baggins!
I'm scared for the time in which Doug ends up having a kid. No, not for Doug, but for his child. With Jens, we get to see and hear stories of him and his daughters and how good of a father he is.
Okay, just to make it clear, again, what happened was that we ran out of time and I had to watch the kids, and after the family went to sleep, I pretty much had to pass out too, and now it is 4 in the morning. I am up again, and so Mike isn't here for this, but we will be joined by my youngest daughter, my 9-month-old, on the baby monitor. So in some way, she will be joining us for this epic conclusion, hopefully. All right. Screaming kid, there you go. Hear that? I gotta go up again. Okay, I am back. I was just rocking the kid back to sleep. And just to give you an idea of the passage of time, it is now 6 in the morning. Exactly, 6 in the morning. And I've only fought the final boss once just now. I've been spending most of my time lately, well, raising kids for the most part. It's very hectic. All you parents out there know exactly what I'm talking about. But the kids are awesome, and they're lucky to have an amazing mother. My oldest daughter is 5 now, and the youngest is almost 1. So that's been my main thing. But as far as content goes, I'll tell you about the regular stuff first, all the web content.
A dog raising a baby? No. Just thinking about it brings me nightmares.
But what do you expect? Can you really fucking blame me after seeing the motherfucking T-Rex be
Okay, people, let's get some facts straight. This pansy does not deserve your sympathy.
Cruel but good word use.
He's a disgrace to the Tyrannosaurus and doesn't deserve all your tears and tributes. First of all, look at his first appearance. He's eating from a carcass. While Roberta, Buck, Doe, and even Junior were hunting for their meals, this guy is scavenging for a dinosaur that was already dead. He didn't work for it. He just went for an easy meal without putting any effort. And before you say it might have been a dinosaur he killed, I have the evidence to back me up straight from the people who worked in this movie.
My hypothesis is that T-Rex was actually a scavenger rather than a killer, rather than a predator. And we see that in this movie more than we see it in the other ones.
There you go! He's a lazy scavenger, not a hunter. Then the fight itself. He drew first blood and snagged the Spinosaurus' neck, and yet he failed to kill her? The Tyrannosaurus has the strongest jaws in the animal kingdom, and he couldn't crush Spino's neck in one bite? What is he, an Overwatch character in his third nerf patch?
Shots fired!
Kill the bald one.
Where's it gonna go?
At least when Roberta fought Indominus, she had the excuse of being too old and didn't fight someone her size in ages, along with Indominus having armored skin. So it made her battle a bit more difficult, yet still but a better fight than he did. This sub-adult was young and healthy, and his opponent didn't have any skin protection, so what's his excuse? Was his bite a form of nudging or something? Did he expect the Spinosaurus to back off after a warning bite? Yo, please go away. You don't want me to hurt you now, huh? Do you? Huh? Do you? Huh? Do you want me to hurt you? Huh? What a pushover. Who wants to defend this loser anyway? Oddly, please help me.
You are useless.
But let's be fair, people. It is still not the most embarrassing Tyrannosaurus fight in history. Oh no, there is one that is even more humiliating.
Prepare to die. You will die, mortal. Round 1. Fight. You are nothing. Is that your best? It's official. You suck. You weak, pathetic fool. I rule this world. Finish him! Fatality.
For the record, this is the same Tyrannosaurus that took an RPG to the face, shrugged off several tank missiles, but this giant space flea from out of nowhere wipes the floor with him in less than a minute? That's a new record! Okay, let's go back to the con levels. I stated before that I did like the Spinosaurus, and I was agreeing with the replacement and giving the T-Rex a little break from the spotlight. Watching behind the scenes stuff, I can't help but feel bad for everyone who worked hard on her. You can feel how excited they were, and they were able to build something so massive and impressive only to get hate letters and negative reception to her, and no one gave their appreciation to it.
This time we wanted something that was actually going to replace T-Rex, and so we went after a dinosaur that literally could cause an extinction on the island. Spinosaurus is and was the biggest meat-eating dinosaur that ever lived.
T-Rex don't stand a chance. Spinosaurus is the guy on the block from this point on.
Spinosaurus is really the predatory animal here that actually goes after T-Rex.
We needed to find a dinosaur that was at least looked bigger and badder than the T-Rex. And we did a lot of research on it. We had a lot of different dinosaur candidates.
The Spinosaur was one of my favorite dinosaurs to design because it's huge. It's bigger than a T-Rex. It's got a head of a crocodile, basically, and this giant fin sail on its back. So the challenge was to make that look real and not monster-like. And I think we pulled it off. I couldn't wait to see the clash between the T-Rex and the Spinosaur because that was really raising the bar as far as who was king of the jungle, you know?
This bit now is something some of you might not agree with, but I think the Tyrannosaurus is a bit of a vanilla theropod. Sure, it's iconic, but at the same time, there are other theropods that look cooler and stranger than it, and frankly, they do need some exposure, like the giant Giganotosaurus, the crested Stryelophosaurus, Baharialosaurus with its weird throat thingy, Spinosaurus' cousin Deoxylaya. There is a vast collection of dinosaurs to use, but they don't get the exposure because the Tyrannosaurus is always on the top billing.
From what Jack says, this was a carnivorous, lethal, flesh-eating creature that was bigger than the Tyrannosaurus and had even larger claws that were more useful than those embarrassing little spindly arms that the T-Rex has. Because the T-Rex was essentially just a big mouth, as far as I could tell, and this is just a more effective killing machine in every way.
Give Disney some credit. While their version of the Carnotaurus was more like a Tyrannosaur with horns, they were a bit creative in not using the typical T-Rex for their dinosaur movie. Also, their Velociraptors were more accurate looking to the real thing than Jurassic Park, so they did something right. And as much as I hate the Walking with Dinosaurs movie, they still had the right idea of using other dinosaurs instead of the usual ones we see everywhere. I also explained how the battle itself had to be cut short due to unexpected destruction of the T-Rex's puppet, and they had to make up for it using whatever they could at the time.
We have a big fight, and T-Rex gets his ass kicked.
We knew that, there was going to be a T-Rex Spino battle in this movie. And the truth of the matter is we knew we were going to break something. The Spino literally ripped the T-Rex's head right off. Because this Spinosaur was so big and bad and powerful. There was just literally no contest between the machines, much less the real animals.
The battle between the two of them, between the T-Rex and the Spinosaurus, I think it's the only time that I'm aware of where we have a digital dinosaur fighting an animatronic dinosaur. We had shots where the Spinosaurus is biting the T-Rex, and the T-Rex was entirely CG at the time. Even though we had an animatronic T-Rex, it was sort of the old generation. It was really interesting to design those shots and make it believable because, the Spinosaurus was biting something that wasn't there, and then we would do reference shots of the T-Rex for the lighting for the computer guys. But I think that's probably one of my favorite parts of the film because of just what we were trying to do, creatively with the technology.
Also something recent I discovered. I know you want to move on, just bear with me. Remember when I made my speculation of Roberta's battle with the I-Rex being the Spinosaurus fight that we were meant to have and showed similar scenes between the movie and the test footage? In one of the trailers I found recently, there's a shot that wasn't used in the movie, consisted of the Spinosaurus smacking Rex's face with her arm, which did happen in Jurassic World. So I ask once again, is the Indominus battle the battle we were supposed to get in Jurassic Park 3? I hope we get confirmation of this.